I'm at home, it's raining, and I have about an hour until my next client call. Let's go hit some golf balls. So part of the reason why I wanted to do this video was because I had a conversation around someone who is, let's call them a scratch handicap, and they want to get better. And I asked them how they spend their free time and how they're building golf around their life. And they asked me what I meant by that. And I told them that even though I have a family, a kid, and a business, I build things in my life around this so that I'm able to still perform at a high level. And he asked, "Well, aren't you, aren't isn't your family a non-negotiable?" And it is. I said, "Well, it is. So I have my non-negotiables with my family, with my son, and outside of that, I try to build as much golf in as I can and be able to get better." So, as a +3 handicap, I feel like I have a unique outlook on how to improve and play better golf while still going about your daily life and getting everything you need done. So let's talk about how I keep my game at a high level. So first off, I built this. I built this simulator. It is not the highest end thing in the world by any means, but it gets the job done. The goal for me is to come in here and be able to grease the groove and work on technical things that I can't do even if it's raining or um, if I can't get to the club or course. So this allows me to, just like I did, go from my kitchen, come in here, and give me the ability to come and practice in a way that I wasn't able to prior to building this in here. Now, within reason, this is not the highest end simulator. To be clear, this is a $2,500 launch monitor and a gaming computer associated with it. So the build-in for this is probably around $3,800 all in. But you can do this for even cheaper, right? I did this for a while where I had a shed outside my house where I would work, and I would go out there with a get my bag out of my way real quick so I can actually use it. I would actually hit balls into a net with no monitor. I did this for over a year, and I got better doing that. You don't need everything in here to get better, but what you need to do is know your time, your limitations in order to actually get better. So when I come in here, I'm doing swing work, I'm doing wedge work, I'm doing carry distances, all in the way that'll make me a better golfer. The biggest thing for most people is they don't plan out their practice really well. You can build all this stuff in here, but if you don't know how to use it, what to use it for, and what to actually plan within your practice, you're not going to get any better. So as I warm up here, let's talk about a couple of things that I would recommend for people that I do that actually allowed me to get more practice time and get better. So first off, is I plan my week every single week without fail. I talk to my wife. I said, here's what we talk about. Here's what we have this week. Here's the days we need to do drop off and pick up for our son at daycare. Great, cool. I can build my entire plan around that for practice. Within that, I will typically build in a day or two to get to my club to be able to practice or play. Now I will prioritize play over anything because my time is super limited. It's the winter right now. It's my busy season for work, and so if I can get out there and go play, I will. Now, the limitations of practice are something to be aware of. So for me, I'm able to do a whole lot in here. I can full swing all my clubs. I can get numbers. I can do all sorts of stuff in here. What I can't do in here, though, is I can't do bunker shots, chipping. Chipping on a simulator sucks. Everyone knows that. I can't do lag putting. I can't do green reading. And so all of those things are limitations that I know within my practice that I will need to prioritize if I can get out to a golf course. So that's what I will do is I will prioritize that when I get to the club. So in here, what I'm going to work on and warm up on is some swing changes that I'm trying to grind right now. So you'll see here, I'm trying to get to this position a little bit more. And I'm going to work on my swing during this period of time. So that's what I'm going to focus on while I'm in here. Now, the beautiful thing is I'll be able to go to the course on Friday, and I'll be able to work on some short game, some putting, and some green reads. But being able to know your limitations within your practice structure is just as important. So if I can come in here 3 or 4 days a week, hit balls for half an hour or 45 minutes, that allow me to get better on this, I don't need to do this when I go out to the course or go out to the range. I know that my swing's going to be in a decent place. Yes, I should prioritize hitting off of grass. We all should. But it's the middle of winter. It's wet outside. It's not going to be off grass for a little bit. So I'm going to prioritize this sort of practice for a bit. Now, when people come in here into a launch monitor, what sort of things should they be working? What sort of things should they avoid? Well, for me in here, what I'm trying to work on is swing changes. So all I'm trying to do is make sure that I'm getting into the right positions and executing. What that looks like on a launch monitor is I might hit a couple shots that look squirrely, but if I'm doing the motions correctly, if I'm doing the stuff correctly, I don't really care as much. However, what I will do towards the end of this session is I will take wedges. So this is a 50 degree, for example. And I will say, okay, I'm going to work on hitting numbers. So what does 100 yards look like with a 50 degree? So just as an example, go 2. And that was 96.6. So I will work on hitting numbers with these. So when I get onto the golf course, I know what 100 yards feels like, 110, 90, etc. And that'll help me to get better in a confined environment like so. The next thing that I'll do is I will actually do randomized practice in game. So what I'll do for randomized practice, I will switch clubs every single shot. And so the goal is to be able to execute a good shot, because what are you going to do when you get into the golf course? You're not going to hit the same club 3 shots in a row. You're going to hit multiple shots, different variations, different clubs. And so you need to be able to switch between clubs, not just bang out the same 50 degree wedge, 8 iron, 5 iron every single time. So swapping, making sure that you are hitting the shot shape that you want and it's showing up in the data. That'll make you a better player. So not just banging balls, but banging balls with intention is extremely important, because if you are just banging balls, you will not get better. And then finally, the number one tool that you're actually going to want for indoors for putting is this putting plates. It has gates right here up front and gates on the back. The reason why I recommend this, and no, I don't get paid for this at all, is because it lets you know if you're starting the ball online. One of the 3 major things you need to know in putting is, are you starting the ball online? So this gives you a direct feedback on if your stroke's dialed in, you're putting the ball online. So when you go to the course to go practice, to go play, you don't have to worry about your stroke being dialed in, because you know it's good on here. Puttingplates.com, where you pick this up, highly recommend. It gives you direct feedback, and it allows you to be confident that when you are spending time here practicing, it's not just going to waste. So definitely recommend picking these up. All in all, the biggest thing in order to get better is just basically managing your time around how can you practice, when can you practice, where can you practice, for one. And then for 2 is that optimizing your time, because I spend way higher quality time now in an hour than I did when I was a junior golfer spending 3 hours. So I'd highly recommend you actually focusing within your practice time in the first place to get the most out of it, because as much as I wish I did, I don't have the time that I did when I was a junior golfer. So hope this helps. If you like it, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.